What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. So we got to talk about Jason Whitlock and Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe recently called him out on Nightcap, and we know Shannon Sharpe's partner, Stephen A. Smith, on First Take, has long-standing issues with Jason Whitlock, and many people in the media do. Those aren't the only two TV personalities or media personalities we've seen come against Jason Whitlock, and Whitlock has been going at Coach Prime for a good bit of time. And so Shannon wanted to come back. Now that Coach Prime is 7-2, he wanted to go in on Jason Whitlock because Whitlock has been having topic after topic with Shannon. Now he's gonna say he praised Nightcap and all that, which I've heard him praise some of the things that Shannon has done since leaving FS1, but it's almost like Jason Whitlock has put himself in a position where it's like, okay, even if he give me a compliment, it feels backhanded. So we're gonna get in this video. I'm gonna stop it at different times to react. Let's check.
Here's Shannon Sharpe gloating, unwilling, unafraid, or afraid to call me out by name. But I want to play you this clip, and I want to address what Shannon Sharpe says here. Play the clip.
Yeah, but y'all know who it is. Y'all know the guy that, he's a false prophet and he's not gonna win, and you can't do this for the portal. No, what we don't do is that we don't call people names on our platform.
Okay. And can you give me a hint? Give me a hint.
I text it to you.
Like without.
But I think everybody in the chat knows who it is because he openly goes out of his way, and it seems like. And the reason why a lot of these podcasts don't have success, like a lot of the other, because they're lazy, because they don't want to do anything but talk about what you and I do, or what a coach isn't doing, or what somebody else is doing. They can't create any other. They can't create any other content other than talk about what somebody else is doing. You're lazy. That's why you get 5,000 views. That's why you have 780 people that watch your show at a time, because you're lazy.
Hey, I got a question. Hey, whoever you talk about, they be talking about us, huh?
No, they don't be talking about. They won't talk about you. They talk about me. But because the people don't, what they fail to realize, people. Yes, there are some people that's in your boat that they don't particularly care about me or the success that I'm starting to have, and so they're gonna watch you. But there's a reason. There is a reason that that because you're so lazy and you can't talk about things, all you can talk about is what people are doing or not doing.
Right.
Your podcast. Create content.
Hey,
create content.
Tell me who it is.
And so
tell me who it is. Tell me who it is. I can go at them.
No. Why would we lend them our audience?
Nah, see, listen, it's not about lending. Sometimes you got to set a precedent. You got to set a precedent. Now, if somebody talk about you, you got to let me know. Let me handle your dirty work. I'm the enforcer.
Let me tell you how we do it, Ocho. We just let them down the vine. Just let them down the vine.
And hit him with an uppercut.
No. That's the thing, Ocho. Leave them where they are. And then eventually, people like, bro, that's all you talk about is Shannon, what he's doing and what he's wearing. And he said this and he shouldn't have done that. When are you going to create original content?
So, I spent, when I saw this or someone tweeted this at me this weekend or yesterday, I was like, man, what did I do to trigger Shannon Sharpe? I thought I've been saying nice things about Shannon Sharpe. I've done something to trigger Shannon Sharpe because, and y'all correct me in the chat if I'm right or wrong, but I've been celebrating Club Shay Shay. I've been talking about how hey man, I didn't like what Shannon did at FS1, but what he's doing at Club Shay Shay doesn't bother me near as much. I actually like it, respect it. The guy's turned himself into a very solid broadcaster.
Now that part right there is true. I have heard Jason Whitlock talk about some of the things that Shannon Sharpe has going on for himself since leaving FS1. So that I have heard him say. Let's continue.
He prepares for his interviews. I thought I'd been showering Shannon with a lot of praise. But clearly, because again, I don't think this is about Deion Sanders. Because Shannon knows what my problems are with Deion Sanders and all of that. I was just, this isn't about Deion. What has triggered Shannon Sharpe? And I finally remembered that In the Damn Shame video, Shannon Sharpe is in the Damn Shame video. And, and yes, I wrote the song. And yes, I was involved with the video and directing what images and all that stuff are in the video. I want to play SOT number 14 here. This is just a small snippet of the Damn Shame. It's the Oliver Anthony spoof song, Richmond or North of Richmond. It's about the NFL. And Shannon Sharpe does appear in that video. Let's play that 9-second clip.
These cowards bound to feminists, Lord knows they all just want to wear pantyhose and control.
And so that's what triggered Shannon. And that's why he's saying all they can do is talk about me and what I'm wearing.
Yeah, so a few things. Jason Whitlock, when you do things like that and you've had history, which I know y'all had issues back at FS1 as well, you do something like that, you have problems with Stephen A, everybody he's around, you can't expect your praises to outweigh what you've already done because you've already revealed your hand and how you feel about them. And so if somebody's sensitive to that, man, you can't really control that. And a lot of people was getting Shannon for wearing that. Now, I knew he had hip replacements. That's why he was walking the way he was walking. But they were talking about the suit and the man purse and all that stuff. And Shannon was really sensitive to that. He was going at the comedians and everybody. But, as far as Whitlock, that's why your praises aren't being taken serious when you have them for people, because you say things and do things like that.
Because I had to search deep. I was like, dang, I thought I'd been complimentary of Shannon Sharpe, giving him credit for what he's done. And we did take that shot. Cowards bowing to feminists, and they all just want to wear pantyhose. And we played the shot of Shannon getting out of that SUV in his green onesie and orange purse. Shannon, here's what I'll say. I tread carefully, bro. Tread carefully, because you got way too many people that have a problem with you, way too many women that have had a problem with you. You don't want to trigger me. Be careful. And so as the explanation, and again, no one needs an explanation, but Shannon, I just want to give it to you, and I want to give the audience. Why do I talk about other broadcasters and podcasters and people involved in the media space and in the sports media space?
So right there, Whitlock is pretty much saying he feels like Shannon is bought and paid for and leans into or makes alliances with people that's in power that are pushing certain agendas into the world. And so that's his perception of Shannon Sharpe. And he feels like he needs to expose media. That's what he's saying. Now, others are saying, okay, Jason, if you're gonna expose that, you always downplay white supremacy. You always downplay the other side of the coin. You pander to one side and you finger point at the other side. And that's kind of always been the argument against him. Not necessarily that everything he says is wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's just that he panders to the other side, which kills the credibility because you're looked at as a panderer rather than a truth teller. Now, if you're telling the truth on both sides, you're received a little bit different. But, that's what he's saying his issues with Shannon Sharpe is. Let's continue.
I don't think I'm better than you, Shannon. I really don't. I just think I have more conviction than you. And maybe I've learned harsher lessons than you have at this point. But yes, there are great rewards for partnering up with a gay stylist and sitting courtside with them and letting everybody know that you're sexually fluid. Great rewards for that. I'm not interested in them. I had no interest in going to Diddy parties, had no interest in going to LeBron parties, got out of my interest. I used to go to the ESPYs and their party, but I just don't, this whole celebrity world, I just don't have an interest in it because the price of admission is sexual immorality. And I'm not saying that I'm the most sexually immoral person on the planet. I'm not. But there are lines that I have that I will not cross. And it doesn't matter what price tag or what the bag you get for wearing a bag and for feminizing yourself and going along with everything. I'm just not going to do it. This show's not going to do it. We're going to take the long road and hopefully appeal to people's good nature, biblical nature, and be rewarded in heaven or in this earth for taking a path that most will not take. I actually believe the things written in the Bible, and that it will be incredibly difficult for a rich man to make it into heaven. Better chance of a camel getting through the eye of a needle.
Okay, so Mr. Whitlock, you need a little bit of context with how you're reading that. Most people think it's the eye of a sewing needle, and they don't use the context of what was meant by that in the first century. Now, the eye of the needle in first century Jerusalem, it was a small gate, that anybody who was traveling and had the luggage on the camel and everything, it was going to be very challenging for them to get through that gate. They would have to take all the luggage off, get the camel down to like on all fours almost, or really kind of laying down and posturing and shimmy through the opening. And that was the hope of getting through the eye of a needle. So it's going to be a challenge, not impossible, but a challenge. And so that's important for context when you use that as an example. But yeah, I want to say that so people will know what that means.
So I made my choice. I'm willing to live with. I don't know if another thing motivating Shannon was, I think late last week we went after Stephen A. Smith again, and Stephen A. Smith, he can't talk about me anymore. I think ESPN's forbidden that, and so Shannon's out here taking one for the team. Shannon, be careful. I actually like most of the stuff you and Ocho do on Nightcap, but if you want to go toe to toe, I'll go toe to toe. As lazy as you think I am, I'm not nearly as lazy as you think. I still do research and journalism. I still am willing to stick it out to ask Stephen A. Smith if I won't do some research and homework and expose people. Be careful.
One thing I would question with Jason Whitlock intent and his motives, if especially, he's standing on Christianity, um, which is commendable. You know what I'm saying? I would say that what he shouldn't do is expose because now he feel like Shannon said something about him. That's not the right approach. That's not the right approach because if it's something that you felt like needed to be exposed, you would have just exposed it when nothing was happening. But just because Shannon said something that got you going, now you want to go tit for tat. I don't think that's the right approach, especially with everything you were just saying you stand on. Um, Going about it that way wouldn't be right. You already know him and Stephen A. is tight at this point. Um, if you talk about them, they have the license to talk back. They have the license to not like what you're talking about, and that's a risk everyone takes when they go on platforms. Now, Shannon, he can't really be too upset. I know Shannon said, cover somebody else. Yes, he's creating original content with people he's bringing on Club Shay Shay, but they are talking about some other people who thought they were cool with Shannon, and they went on his platform before Cat Williams. So again, people is gonna talk. Whether you create your original content or whether you talking about what somebody did or whatever, you're gonna get talked about on the internet for your interpretations and how you see things that have transpired over the airwaves. So uh, it is what it is at this point. And I think them going back and forth, I think Jason Whitlock welcomes that. Bigger platforms talking to him. I mean, you got Stephen A. Smith, who's on First Take every day and on his own podcast a few times a week. You got Shannon Sharpe doing 3 different things. So that only helps Jason Whitlock when he has to go back and respond to that. So I think Stephen A has been trying to play that game, not throwing him a bone, not throwing no light on him. Shannon Sharpe has been kind of just listening for the most part, but it says something. As hot as nightcap is getting now. He said what he said, and I think this is gonna go as fast as it comes. Though Jason Whitlock, yeah, he'll do his research. He'll have it out more for Shannon at this point. But we'll see, man. We're gonna have to sit back and see what happens. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.